All right. What's up, guys? Haven't seen y'all in a while. Hopefully, son, where you going? I'm just going to be doing live video for the first time and trying to get it figured out. We need to get something out there. So, this video was who is the real QBU? And let's be honest, there's only one, Oklahoma. If you Google it, I had a little issue with it. It said USC is the real QBU with 3 Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks. And I'm like, we've had more than that the past fucking. Oh, yeah, by the way, if adult language offends you, definitely click off this video right now. But anyway, Oklahoma is the real QBU. And don't get me wrong, I was talking with somebody like about this yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, USC did have Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, and then they had our guy, Caleb Williams, who was supposed to be the future of Oklahoma. Went with shithead out there. And so that would have been even another one. We have 4 right now, not to mention Jalen Hurts, who finished second. We had Josh Heupel, who finished second also. And not to mention Baker Mayfield was also a finalist another year. I think he may have been a finalist like all 3 years, but went to New York 2 times. Jason White went to New York 2 times. Josh Heupel went to New York once. A lot of people felt like he should have won it that year. And anyway, so the real QBU, got to ask yourself, who is the real QBU? And I was thinking, man, Oklahoma's definitely up there for sure. USC, I mean, they did have Matt Leinart, and they had a bunch of good quarterbacks back in the day. LSU, I mean, they just had a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback last year. They had Joe Burrow, and I think they're going to continue to have great quarterback play. But what brought this about is Oklahoma just got another commitment from a guy right out of Lincoln Riley's backyard. Now, maybe he wasn't recruiting him, maybe he was. But I really thought when Lincoln Riley left, I thought, man, hopefully defense definitely defense is going to get better. It's got to get better. But we're probably not going to continue to recruit these 5-star quarterbacks and 4-star quarterbacks every year, And damned if it hasn't happened. I mean, we have continued to recruit these top quarterbacks. With Nick Evers, he wasn't chopped liver. He was a 4-star quarterback. And then the very next year, we get Jackson Arnold, 5-star quarterback. Year after that, Michael Hawkins. Dude, that guy's got legit great talent. I was watching some of his film today, and you can tell he's had all the proper, like the top-notch coaching. You can tell he's went through all the camps. The guy's got, ridiculous arm talent. Jackson Arnold does too. But he was a 4-star on some people, depending on, what you look at. Like, I think he was a composite 4-star. Some places had him as a 3-star, but dude's got a 5-star arm. I mean, he's really good, and he's very fast. And but anyway, so yeah, we get Nick Evers, first recruiting class, then Jackson Arnold, 5-star, then 4-star Michael Hawkins, and we've got the other kid coming in that was playing. He just went to Jackson Arnold's old high school. He was playing Carl Albert. He's coming in this next class. And then after that, we've got the O'Neal kid. And so anyways, we're still recruiting 4-star, 5-star quarterbacks. O'Neal, he may end up he may end up being a 5-star by the time it's said and done also. He's right in that same area that Jackson Arnold was in. When Jackson Arnold first committed to Oklahoma, he was like I guess you'd say mid 4-star kind of guy. I want to say he was ranked like 8th best quarterback in the country, depending on which one you looked at. That's about where this kid is that we've got for the 2026 class. And I was also going through watching the spring game, and that, God, I hope it was pretty cool watching Burks. Like, that dude's special, the Deion Burks. He's our biggest playmaker. I know it's crazy to think that, because we literally have Nick Anderson coming back. We've got Julio Farouk coming back. We got Gibson coming back. Andrew Anthony coming back. Thompson, the Texas transfer that made some big plays in the bowl game, he's going to be back. And then you got this Deion Burks kid that's just, I mean, first thing I said when I left the spring game, I told my dad, I was like, dude, this Deion Burks guy is the real deal. He's Ryan Royals. He's, Mark Clayton. He is Kenny Stills. All the great wide receivers that we've had that are just – he's almost like a cheat code. I mean, I was watching it, and I'm like, dude, he is like a cheat code. Anytime that Jackson Arnold wanted to make a big play, he just throws the ball to Deion Burks. Deion Burks is going to be wide open. He didn't drop any passes, and I'm thinking, God, this dude is like a cheat code on the video game. And so I can't wait to see what happens. I think Jackson Arnold's going to do really good, and if he doesn't, Michael Hawkins is really good. He'll be licking his chops just like Caleb Williams was. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I want to see Jackson Arnold do good like we all expect, and then after he's here for maybe a year or two, maybe 2 more years of starting, then Michael Hawkins takes over. And I wouldn't be shocked if it almost reminded me, I'm not going to say it reminded me exactly of like Kyler Murray, back when we had Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray both playing at the same time. But I would say that it wouldn't shock me if they both end up being really good. I ain't saying they're going to both win back-to-back Heismans. But to answer the question, the real QBU is Oklahoma. And it kind of was funny when we were talking about it. Ohio State's had a lot of good quarterbacks too, but you look it up, it said USC was QBU with 3. So they had 3 Heisman-winning quarterbacks. And I'm like, well, someone's definitely wrong on that. We've had Jason White, 2003, Sam Bradford, 2008, and then we had Baker Mayfield, 2017, and then Kyler Murray, 2018. So just in the last 20 years, we've had more than the 3 quarterbacks they've had, Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks, and then add in with it that we've had 2 guys that finished number 2 for the Heisman. But so, for the record, the real QBU, and I'm not just saying this because I'm an Oklahoma fan. I'd be the first ones to admit, nah, that's not right. Oklahoma is QBU. And the reason why we're continuing to recruit these great quarterbacks is because we are motherfucking QBU. That's why we're still getting 4-star quarterbacks, 5-star quarterbacks, and it's every year. It ain't like this has just been a couple year thing. We've been having great quarterbacks for 20 years, and we're gonna continue to have great quarterback play. What we got to get is that defense. I hope we have our shit together. I know the recruiting has been incredible, and a couple years ago, one of the other things I want to add with this video. A couple years ago, I was telling my dad in the 2022 season, Brent Venables' first year, he's like, what do you think Brent Venables is going to do? And I said, Dad, I'm going to be completely honest with you. This roster is depleted. Brent Venables had to take over. Both 5-star quarterbacks transferred away. And the roster's depleted. And we've lost a ton of starters on the defensive side of the ball and starting running back, starting fullback, or H-back. He played a little bit of fullback, tight end, but he was a playmaker. He was another good starter. We lost starting other tight end, starting receiver, but we lost a ton of starters. And I said, I don't even know if Nick Saban or Bill Belichick could win 10, 12 games with this roster. I just don't. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm dead wrong, but I have a hard time believing they're going to be able to go out in there and just compete for a conference championship and go to the playoffs. And unfortunately, I was right and I wasn't wrong when we had a hard time. We struggled. We won 6 games. Now, yeah, they did better than I thought they were going to do because they were this close to winning like 4 or 5 more. I think we lost 4 of them by 3 points. But the fact of the matter is this roster just wasn't stable. Like we took a big hit. And unfortunately, it's the world we live in today. When you have a coach leave, and especially if they leave and the other coach that comes in doesn't quite have enough time to, hit the transfer portal. A lot of all the great transfer portal players have already signed with other teams. You got to go out there and just get whatever is available. You got to just get the best that you can. And that's what they did, and it resulted in a 6-win season. And it sucks because even after losing everything, we'd come this close to winning 9-10 games that year, but 6 games. Well, then the second year rolls around, and I'm like, dude, I think they're going to have this roster still not where it used to be, still not a typical Oklahoma roster. And when I say typical Oklahoma roster, I'm meaning the kind of team that, we've beat Texas 16 out of the last 24 years. We've made it to the playoffs several different times, four times within a 6-year period of time. We've constantly was going to BCS Bowls, playoffs, and a legit top 10 roster damn near every year for the past 24 years, except for these last few where we've been in the middle of rebuilding it. This year is the first year since, I would say, 2018, 2017, 17, we had a really good roster. That was the team that beat Ohio State, come this close to beating Georgia in the playoffs. And that year, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Alabama were 3 really good teams. They were all neck and neck with each other. And that was the last year that we were legit a contender for a national championship, in my opinion. 2018, we got beat by Bama. We made it look a little bit better at the end, but let's be honest, Bama, it was like the Fast and the Furious movie. You never had me. You never had your car. We was never going to beat Alabama or Clemson or any of those teams, LSU. We didn't have the car. We are finally about to get this roster. I ain't going to say it's Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama level yet, but we're finally starting to get this roster pretty damn close to what it needs to be to compete for a national championship like we was able to do in 2017. And in my opinion, I don't think we've had a championship caliber roster since 2017. I think in 2018 we had a stud quarterback that put the team on his back, and along with some other great players like CeeDee Lamb, and we were able to at least make a playoff run, win conference championships in the Big 12. And it was the same way with Jalen Hurts in 2019. The team was just good enough with some CeeDee Lamb was still on that team. Another receiver I didn't mention earlier when I was mentioning stud receivers, but that'll be another video. But anyway, 2019, we barely got into the playoffs, got smoked. Team wasn't we wasn't close to having a roster that was as good as LSU and Clemson and Alabama, all the teams that were really good that year. So anyway, I'm excited to see what happens this year. I feel like this is the season for Brent Venables to really go out there with his team that he's handpicked. It's his offensive coordinator that he handpicked, not the one that Joe C said, hey, I'm hiring Jeff Levy and you as the head coach. I feel like that decision was already kind of made before even he got here. This is going to be the first time that there's no excuses. This is his guy. This is his quarterback. This is the quarterback he wanted even over Dillon Gabriel. God bless him. I love Dillon Gabriel. I wish him nothing but the best. But I feel like maybe the direction of the program, it was just best to go with Jackson Arnold. Maybe some of them floater. He does throw them deep balls that are like floaters. They go, you see them go sometimes, you can't even see them. Like it hit the damn Jumbotron at the Jerry World as high as he throws some of them deep balls. Those might get picked in the SEC. So I kind of feel like maybe they wanted more of an NFL zip, and both those quarterbacks we got now have that. But anyway, it's his offensive coordinator. It's his quarterback. It's a shitload of his defensive players on our front seven. Other than Stutzman, he was already there, but let's face it, he's been developed by Brent Venables and this current coaching staff. He's got his defensive coordinator. I know BV is the defensive coordinator, but Zach Alley's going to be kind of I think he's the kind of guy that can just copy and paste Brent Venables' defense, but also bring a little bit of his own mentality to what we're already doing, and kind of put his own barbecue sauce over it, I guess, so to speak. And but I really love I think our running game is going to be great with Seth Luttrell. I know people don't like hearing his name, but Seth Luttrell, he comes from a similar tree of Lincoln Riley. I think you're going to see a lot of that. You've seen it in the red-white game, the big, huge plays to Deion Burks, the way he's able to get guys wide open, kind of like what it was with Lincoln Riley, but also that running game. This guy was a fullback at OU. Joe John Finley, the co-coordinator, he was a tight end. These dudes are all about tough, push people off the ball, establish the run first, and explosive pass plays also. I think people are really going to like this offense. So I'm excited. This is a prove-it year for Brent Venables. I really feel like this is the year that you're going to see what it is that he's been building. Like there's no more excuses about the roster ain't stable. We've had 3 great recruiting classes back to back to back, a top 5, a top 10, top 10. Way better than what it was when he took over, where he had a depleted roster. There's no excuses. I can't wait to see what happens. And also let me know, this is the first time doing a video, doing a live video. I'm hoping this microphone is good. I know the video looks a little bit blurry, but we'll get it all sorted out eventually. We'll get it lined out before football season gets here. Anyway, Boomer Sooner guys, it's going to be an exciting year. I'm ready. College football. EA Sports College football is coming out. They had Oklahoma ranked as the 8th toughest place to play, and that's pretty fair. I think they had Alabama at number 2, I think they had LSU up there. They had Texas A&M, I guess, at number 1. And I'm like, really, dude? Have you seen Alabama's record at home? Have you seen how tough of a place it is at LSU? In my opinion, I think I'd have to throw LSU and Alabama up there at the top. But A&M they got a hell of a fan base up there. It is a loud, tough, hostile environment, no doubt about it. But LSU and Alabama, I'd almost have to say maybe they're number 1 and 2 for me. But that's just my opinion. Either way, shitload of places that are tough to play at. A lot of great college football fans out there. And it's almost here, guys. We just got a few more margarita drinks at the beach to go, a couple more lake trips, and a few more cases of beer, and it'll be football season, guys. Boomer Center. I'll see you guys next time.